Crucial in the survivability of this storm, says former FEMA Director Craig Fugate, who warns that many hurricane fatalities come after the storm has passed.
Power lines are down, trees are down, roads are hazardous, you still have flooding, and the hospitals are already loaded up with COVID folks. They don't need trauma patients.
The one known fatality resulting from this storm is a 60-year-old man in Ascension Parish who was killed by a falling tree. I'm Jim Ryan, ABC News in New Orleans. Now with more news, here's Sherry Preston.
Less than 24 hours before the deadline for U.S. troops to leave Afghanistan, rockets have been fired on the Kabul airport as evacuation flights go on. ABC's Connor Finnegan has more.
The U.S. has in total evacuated about 114,000 people so far. That number could continue to creep up before the deadline. And the vast majority of those are Afghans. They have been flown out to U.S. military installations in the Middle East. From there, they've started to fly Afghans to bases in Germany, Italy, Spain. So these Afghans may spend months now in these transit countries.
The European Union is expected today to recommend reintroducing travel restrictions for U.S. citizens because of the rising number of COVID cases in this country. The annual report by the International Atomic Energy Agency says North Korea appears to have restarted its operation of its main nuclear reactor. It produces plutonium, one of the two key ingredients used in nuclear weapons. This is ABC News.
Paid for by the American Hospital Association. Many hospitals are facing a financial crisis resulting from the COVID-19 pandemic. The AHA has projected that hospitals will experience at least $320 billion in losses from March through December 2020 as a result of canceled services, COVID treatment, and the purchase of additional PPE. AHA President and CEO Rick Pollack.
As we continue to deal with COVID-19, our patients, communities, and the entire country is depending on hospitals remaining resilient. Hospitals will need further support and resources to ensure that we can continue to deliver the critical care that our patients and communities depend on.
The economic challenges created by COVID-19 have forced some hospital leaders to make tough decisions. Congress and the administration can help to ensure health providers are prepared for any surge in COVID-19 patients that would result in a shutdown in normal hospital operations. To learn more, visit AHA.org.
Jury selection begins tomorrow in the trial of Elizabeth Holmes, founder of the failed blood testing company Theranos. She is facing fraud charges, and now ABC's Megan Terzian says court documents show that her defense team is accusing her former boyfriend of abuse.
Recently unsealed court filings allege former boyfriend and Theranos COO Sunny Balwani exerted psychological and emotional control over the disgraced Theranos founder Elizabeth Holmes. Holmes claims Balwani controlled what she ate, how she dressed, how much money she could spend, and with whom she could interact. Balwani denies the allegations.
ABC's Megan Terzian. The Caldor fire explodes over the weekend and gets even closer to homes near Lake Tahoe.
Conditions are deteriorating on the fire line. Flames exploding on Sunday and strong winds overtaking numerous homes and cabins. The flames now only miles away from South Lake Tahoe. An intense firefight is on. New evacuation warnings are in place.
That's ABC's Alex Stone. Amazon shoppers will soon be able to buy now, pay later without credit cards. The online retailer is teaming up with payment company Affirm. Amazon customers will soon be able to split the total cost of purchases of $50 or more into monthly payments. They're told the total cost of the transaction up front. There are no late fees, according to Affirm. This is ABC News.
Pro football season's here, and pro roofers save valuable time with Beacon Pro Plus. Beacon Pro Plus works 24/7 for material ordering, order history, and automated promotion tracking, so you can get your favorite GAF roofing products even when working remotely. And now, order on Beacon Pro Plus and get a $175 gift card and a chance for a VIP pro football getaway. Gear up and raise your game with Beacon Pro Plus today. Build, score, and win at BECN.com.
Sherry Preston, ABC News.
The reasons more and more people are coming to NC Tractor to do business are the selection of Massey Ferguson tractors, Bobcat zero-turn mowers, fantastic customer service, and the special Phil Sheehan seasonal discounts. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford is making dreams come true for folks who want the list.
Today we're going to see temperatures in the mid-90s. It's going to be a hot one out there with feels like temperatures heading into the triple digits. We have a very small chance of seeing a few afternoon showers and thunderstorms, but for the most part, we will be dry. Overnight we'll fall into the upper 60s and lower 70s with highs in the mid-90s tomorrow. We do have better rain chances building in on Wednesday's remnant from Ida will move into our region and potentially bring severe storms. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
7:05 and 66 degrees. We've had a little fog roll in a few moments ago. It's moving out now, I believe, but wherever you are, please watch out for that as you travel out and about to your place of business. We'll keep you posted on Ida today. Also, stay tuned right here. We'll give you an update on what's happening out there. Right now it's 66 degrees and mostly sunny skies prevailing today with highs around 93 with winds about 7 miles per hour. I have these death announcements. Leila Mae Fish, age 88, of Shelby, died Saturday, August 28th at Adriam Health of Cleveland. The funeral service will be held at 2:30 Tuesday, August 31st in the Paget and King Chapel. Entombment will follow in the mausoleum at Cleveland Memorial Park, Shelby. The family will receive friends from 1:30 until the hour of service at the mortuary. The Paget and King mortuary is in charge of the arrangements for Leila Mae Fish. Tyler Martin, 31, of Lawndale, died Saturday, August 28th at Adriam Health, Shelby. The funeral will be conducted at 1 o'clock September the 2nd, Thursday, September the 2nd at Washburn and Dorsey Funeral Home. The visitation will be from 4 until 6 Wednesday at Washburn and Dorsey Funeral Home. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service is serving the family of Tyler Martin. Francis Lovelace Oates, 86, of Golden Valley, died Sunday, August 29th at Grace Hospital, Morganton. Those arrangements still incomplete and will be announced by Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service. And again, that's Francis Lovelace Oates. Robert Bob Sellers, 85, of Forest City, died Monday, August 23rd at Adriam Health, Cleveland in Shelby. Those arrangements are pending and will be announced by Harrelson Funeral Home for Bob Sellers. Bobby Joe Harris, 84, of Rutherfordton, passed away Saturday, August 28th at Holly Springs Senior Center. Graveside services will be held 11 a.m. today at Mountain Creek Baptist Church. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Bobby Joe Harris. David Michael Harden, 39, of Ellenboro, died Friday, August 27th at Greenville Memorial Hospital. The funeral will be conducted at 5 o'clock Tuesday, August 31st at Oak Grove United Methodist Church. Burial will follow in the church cemetery, and the visitation will be from 4:30 until 7:30 this evening at Washburn and Dorsey Funeral Home. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Services, serving the family of David Michael Harden. Ray Crowder, age 81, of Rutherfordton, died Wednesday, August 25th at Mission Hospital, McDowell County in Marion. The family will receive friends from 5 until 6 p.m. Wednesday, September the 1st at McMahon's Funeral Home. The memorial service will be 6 o'clock Wednesday, September 1st at McMahon's Funeral Home Chapel. McMahon's Funeral Home is serving the family of Ray Crowder. Francis Beatty, 87, of Sunshine, died Thursday, August 26th. A graveside service will be conducted at 11 a.m. Tuesday, September the 7th at Mount Harmony Baptist Church. Friends may visit Monday, September the 6th from 2 until 6 at Washburn and Dorsey Funeral Home to sign the register book and pay their respects. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service is serving the family of Francis Beatty. Rita A. Gasick, age 90, of Lowbridge Road, Forest City, passed away Thursday, August 26th at Adriam Health, Cleveland. No formal services will be conducted at this time, and Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services serving the family of Rita A. Gasick. Vicki Ann Doggett, age 64, passed away August 24th at her home. Online condolences. A celebration of Vicki's life will be held at a later date by her family. She was laid to rest at Round Hill Baptist Church Cemetery in Union Mills, and online condolences may be made at crowmortuary.com for Vicki Ann Doggett.
Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. Investors, Bill O'Reilly here. Are you sitting on capital or wanting to diversify? The NRIA Real Estate Development Fund provides returns right now. They capitalize on strategic markets. They offer payouts of 10% annualized returns plus bonuses up to 21%. They are a 15-year industry leader who have seen it all. Start your due diligence at nria.net or call 800-800-1414. That's easy. 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
On this Monday, a new survey says more Americans are smoking pot for the first time than ever before. Shocked? Come on. With quasi-legalization all over the place, this is no surprise. But is getting stoned a good thing? I'm a simple man. That's a simple question. I don't think so. But I'm not an expert, and I have never used weed in my life. I know I'm boring, but I have never used any drug at all to get high. I use aspirin once in a while, but that's it. I want to play it safe. I take good care of my physical and mental facilities. I don't want to be inebriated, because when that happens, bad things can follow. DUIs, for example, and other very destructive situations. I once knew a guy who smoked pot every night. He held a job, but he didn't have a girlfriend because he never went out. He just sat there toking. That was his hobby. That was his lifestyle. Now, that is an extreme case, I know. But I go back to my original question. Is getting stoned a good thing for you and for society? Probably not. Now this. Thousands of abandoned animals in the USA need your help. Delta Rescue, founded by actor Leo Grillo, the largest no-kill care-for-life animal sanctuary in the world. Their trained staff take animals in, provide them with food, water, treats, and affection. And your donation may be eligible to help lower your taxes. So please visit deltarescue.org/bill now. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
Good morning. Good morning.
100.9 FM and 590 AM. Recommended by 3 out of 4 truck drivers. The fourth one? Well, he just stopped off for coffee.
Boy, you got great taste in music.
This is WCAB.
Have you noticed lately how empty everything is? Empty streets, empty stores, empty schools. But I'm trying to change these empty times by being full of gratitude. Gratitude means saying thanks to the garbage collector, the medical providers, and all those who are helping every day. Things may appear empty around us, but when we're filled with gratitude, nothing is completely empty inside us. Gratitude is in you. From PassItOn.com.
The year was 1877. The location was Denver, Colorado. In May, the locals were entertained by midget Tom Thumb in P.T. Barnum's stage show. 3 months later, there was a performance of another type that entertained some of the people from Denver. It was the first of its kind recorded in the Old West. Mattie Silks had a boyfriend named Court Thompson. Now, Court was a bit of a rounder, and he started sneaking off and seeing Kate Fulton. When Mattie found out about it, she was upset. Many a woman would have gone into her room, closed the door, and cried her eyes out. But not Mattie. She looked up Kate and challenged her to a fight to the death with pistols. On August 25, the two women met on the street. Each was given a single-shot pistol. Of course, boyfriend and scoundrel Court Thompson had to be there to glory in the whole affair. The two women squared off and fired. Neither woman hit their mark. In a strange twist of fate, the only person hit was boyfriend Thompson. But it was only a flesh wound. After missing each other, the women threw down their pistols and commenced a catfight. In the process, Kate ended up with a broken nose. Realizing Maddie was not one to trifle with, the next day, Kate left town. What is not known is whether Maddie Silks took Court Thompson back and nursed him to health. But I can assure you if she did, Thompson's eyes didn't stray again. Incidentally, it is not known which woman actually shot Court, but I would suspect that whichever one did it, that was her aim. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Put Jesse James Railroad Express on your lunch calendar. He has a menu chocked full of fresh cooked burgers, fresh salads, hot dogs made any way you like, taco salads, specialty burgers, sandwiches, french fries, or onion rings. Enjoy refreshing milkshakes, Coke floats, or a cone of hand-dipped ice cream. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 4, closed Wednesday and Sunday. Jesse James Railroad Express, 531 Railroad Avenue, Rutherford. Call 828-447-4644. Mondays only. Hot dogs with mustard, chili, and onions for only $1.24 each. All aboard the Jesse James Railroad Express.
66 degrees, and we have cloudy skies right now. It should be a sunny day before it's over with. 16 minutes after 7 o'clock. Let's find out what kind of weekend we've had around the county. Deputy Butron with the Sheriff's Department is on the phone now to give us that update. Good morning. How you doing today? What's been happening over in the Sheriff's Department?
Yes, sir. In the past 48 hours, the Sheriff's Office has responded to 220 calls for service. The jail's processed 14 arrests, and there's currently 203 detained in the county jail. For arrest reports, Robert Payne Davis was charged with misuse of 911 system. Baxter Boyd Dobbins was served a warrant for assault on a female and injury to personal property. Jamerson Darren Jones was served an order for arrest for a failure to appear on a felony. Jason Dylan Wiggins was charged with a protection order violation. For incident reports, Sarah Wharton reported a break and entering and a larceny after break and entering. Justin Dean Silvers reported a damage to property. And Dwight Alexander Walker reported a misdemeanor larceny. And that's all we've got for the weekend.
David Butron, thank you very much for that report. Now you be safe out there today.
Thank you, sir.
And we'll get the 911 calls in just a moment. Let me brag on Hutchins Pest Control a minute. Don't let the pest bug you when Hutchins Pest Control is as close as a phone call. Honest, dependable, professional, and on-time service may be the reason they keep getting voted best pest control. If you have a pest problem, call this family-run business at 287-5171. Licensed in North and South Carolina and fully insured and bonded. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control and be sure the job is done right. That's Hutchins Pest Control. Call them today at 287-5171 and they'll be right there. And here's Kylie now with the 911 Communications Center report. Kylie, good morning.
Good morning.
What's on your report today?
In the past 48 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 communications has processed 806 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 70 for EMS, 63 for rescue, 220 for the Sheriff's Office, 146 for City, 17 for Lake Lure, 60 for Rutherford, 131 for Spindale. Bills Creek responded to a structure fire with Chimney Rock, Fairfield, and Lake Lure assisting. Cliffside responded to a structure fire with Ellenborough, Far City, and SDO assisting. Far City responded to 2 motor vehicle accidents and a residential fire alarm. Lake Lure responded to an industrial fire alarm with Fairfield assisting. Rutherford responded to a motor vehicle accident as well as an industrial fire alarm, fire gas leak, and a vehicle fire. And Sandy Mush responded to a motor vehicle accident, and that's all we have.
Thank you much. You have a good day.
Thank you, you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, Wednesday's search of a Forest City residence yielded more than 3 pounds of methamphetamine, assorted other drugs, and more than $14,000 cash. The newly established task force consisting of the Forest City Police Department and the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office Narcotics Units, along with the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office Criminal Apprehension Team, assisted North Carolina Probation with the search at 125 Lark Lane. Upon completion of the search, authorities seized the methamphetamine, $14,197 in cash, marijuana, and a series of other pills, according to Forest City Police. As a result of the seizure, arrested were Michael Irvin Hughes, 52, and Ricky Thomas Jackson, 37, both of Lark Lane. They were all charged and jailed under secured bond. Old enough to know better. Now let's head down toward the SDO Fire District, and Ruby Taylor is on the phone to tell us what's been happening over there. Ruby, what's on your report from the SDO department?
Well, the fire department assisted Cliffside on a structure fire, and on my birthday calendar I've got Ray Rice. Happy birthday, and hope he has a nice day. Signs are in the arms today and tomorrow, and that's all I got.
All right, Ruby, thank you very much. You have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye. And you'll find a picture of Ray Rice in our Foothills Journal that we sent out just a few weeks ago. Ray Rice was in the studio talking about some of his great accomplishments, and we want to wish Ray Rice a happy, happy birthday. Imagine being surrounded by comfort. At Immaculate Heating and Air Conditioning, they offer ultimate home comfort by Coleman. They will install a Coleman high-efficiency heating and cooling system and handle any service and maintenance, all for one low monthly payment with zero out-of-pocket costs for 10 years. That's right, 10 years with no service or repair fees, no maintenance fees, no unexpected cost at all. Ultimate home comfort. It's more comfort all around. Contact Nathan Blackburn at 828-755-5788. That's 755-5788, or visit ImmaculateHeatingandAir.com. Now we're up to the Fairfield Mountains Fire District, and Gary Wilson, I hope you had a great weekend.
Well, we had one day was quiet. That was yesterday. Saturday we were pretty busy. We had a medical call Saturday morning, then we had a fire alarm that we answered that afternoon. Then we assisted Lake Lure and Bills Creek and Chimney Rock with a structure fire that night. So it was a busy day Saturday, but Sunday was quiet and peaceful, and sure hope, praying for all those folks there in New Orleans and Alabama through there. They're getting slammed with that hurricane.
They are being slammed. I tell you, that's a tough place to live and down and around.
It is. It is.
Louisiana.
It's no place to be when you got that kind of storm coming through.
Do you anticipate us getting much of the rain from that on Wednesday and Thursday of this week?
Well, I don't know. They're calling for, depending on how far west it goes. If it goes further west, we won't get much, and if it swings a little further east, we could get 3 to 5 inches. So right now it's kind of up in the air. But hopefully if we get some rain, it'll just be rain, no high winds or nothing like that. We don't need that. And hopefully not any flooding or anything. So maybe we'll get by. We'll know more about it, I would think, by tomorrow.
Yeah.
For sure, tomorrow night and Wednesday mornings when we're supposed to get whatever we're going to get.
Yeah.
But this morning's nice. It's less humidity out there this morning. Feels about 68 degrees out there, and feels pretty good out there this morning.
It does. They've downgraded that hurricane down to a tropical storm, I believe now. So it's not as powerful as it was, but it still could do some damage.
Yeah, it still could. There's still going to be a lot of rain out of it in some places, so we'll just have to wait and see what we get.
Yeah. All right, Gary, I do appreciate you keeping an eye on things for us, and keep us posted, and we'll check back in with you tomorrow.
All right, we'll talk to you then, Jim.
Thanks, Gary. 7:23. And it's always worth a trip to wherever you are in the sound of my voice to head on over to Washburn Community, to Washburn Store. Someone was telling me the other day, dropped in and get one of those big oranges. In the cooler there, they keep them really cold. You can always find a pack of crackers or a candy bar, a bag of chips or something to go along with that, or just shop the store and find a gift for somebody. A gift for yourself even. If you haven't bought anything for yourself lately, you deserve it. Go to Washburn Store and find just the right thing. Maybe just a pair of work gloves to work in the flower beds. It may be a new set of pots and pans. Maybe a new pair of overalls. Whatever it is, you always rest assured that you get a friendly greeting when you go into Washburn General Store. Between Bostic and Sunshine on the Bostic Sunshine Highway. All right, let's check in up at the Hudlow Fire District. Bob Hodge, good morning.
Well, good Monday morning.
How you doing?
We're doing just fine. Starting off a new week here. So.
Well, almost a new month. By the time tomorrow gets here, August will be over, won't it?
If you're going to do anything in August, better do it today, hadn't you?
That's right.
Oh, we're going to have September coming up, and that's supposed to be a fall month, so maybe we'll cool off some about the middle of the month there a little bit.
We'll see.
That's right, but I hope our western counties don't get all that rain again like they did before. Maybe it won't get as much this time out of that hurricane, but
well, I hope not.
I know it. They already recovering from that other in there. So
Haywood County can't handle much more. They are all still digging up there around Canton area for sure.
That's right. Well, with the fire department over the weekend, it's been pretty quiet. We've just made a few medical calls, hadn't had any fire, wreck calls, or anything like that. And everything else going along real quiet up here so far this morning. And, Jim, that's about it. So maybe hope we all have a good day today.
You enjoy your day today too, Bob, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Checking in now with Sherry Mountain Fire District. Sue Price, hope you had a good weekend.
Good morning, Jim. Yes, we had a good weekend. Just quiet and calm, but didn't have any calls from the fire department, so I reckon they had a quiet weekend, and that's good. But we just stayed in.
Where it was cool.
Yeah. A lot of COVID around, so we just tried to stay safe.
Well, that's probably a smart thing to do.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I don't have any birthdays or anniversaries on either one of my calendars for today, so it's just nobody's celebrating that I know, but we hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day and enjoy it. You mentioned a while ago the Foothills Journal. I wanted to tell you that I enjoyed reading that.
Well,
always look forward to it.
Well, good. Thank you. We enjoy that. A lot of folks still enjoy it. A lot of folks come by and pick up 2 or 3 copies because they want to share it with other people that didn't get one.
Yeah. Well, it's always enjoyable to read. And I guess I don't really have anything to report this morning, Jim. I don't have any announcement come in, so just quiet and calm, looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one.
Stay happy over there, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. 28 past 7 o'clock, and our temperature gauge is showing 66 degrees.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Folks, all I can say is stay safe and be careful and keep yourself protected. Rutherford County is among the areas where COVID-19 has tightened its grip, according to data from the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services. Thursday, the NCD-HHS released new data in the weekly respiratory surveillance report showing that unvaccinated people were 15.4 times or 40% more likely to die from COVID-19 during the 4-week period ending August 21st. This comes as the state hit a pandemic high on Thursday with 912 adults in the ICU with COVID-19. The number of COVID-19 patients on ventilators also reached a record high at 574. In Rutherford, coronavirus cases are surging with 86 new cases within a day, along with 6 more fatalities for a cumulative death toll of 235. Figures show there are 8,734 cases in the county, or 179 new cases within the last few days. I don't give you that report to frighten you, to have you panic, to lock yourself in your room. Just be careful as you go out and observe things. And as I always say, keep your hands washed often and be aware of what's going on. If a business asks you to wear a mask, go ahead and compliment them and wear the mask. And then take it off once you get out if you don't like the mask. It's 7:30. Let's head up toward Shingle Hollow to see if we can find Tina White. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Jim?
I am great. How are you?
I'm doing fine on this Monday morning.
Are you improving?
I am, yes. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. I didn't want to have the surgery, but I can already tell that I have more movement.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, I think so. Well, up here in Shingle Hollow, it's 67 degrees on the front porch. Shingle Hollow Fire Department didn't have any calls. Green Hill Fire Department had one medical assist. There's no birthdays on Pleasant Grove's calendar. On Piney Knob, there's a birthday for Roger Waters and an anniversary for Roger and Joyce Waters. So Roger's got a big day today, and I hope Joyce and he both have a happy anniversary. No announcements. It's all quiet, cool, and going to have a good day.
You going back to bed now?
No. Oh, if I went back to bed, I would just waller. I just, back and forth. I may sit and put my foot up in this big wedge that I have to, but I got several things to do around here on my little scooter.
Yeah. Well, you be careful and enjoy your day and get well soon, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, and y'all all stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye. That's Tina White reporting from the Shingle Hollow Fire District this morning. We got more stops to make. Let's get on with it.
Does your financial advisor take the time to really listen to you? Is your financial strategy personalized for you and your family? Will your financial advisor be there as your life and financial situation change? Hi, I'm Andrew Tisdale, your local Edward Jones financial advisor. When we work together, we focus what's important to you. We create a personalized strategy backed by our advice, our tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we partner together to help your strategy stay on track no matter what happens. Contact me at any time at 828-287-9197. We'll sit down, talk, and we're going to make a strategy that's right for you.
Dogwood Health Trust would like to recognize Blue Ridge Health for their work to improve health and wellness outcomes in the region. Blue Ridge Health is one of many partners working with Dogwood to create a region where every generation in Western North Carolina can live, learn, earn, and thrive with dignity and opportunity for all. No exceptions. To learn more about Blue Ridge Health and other partners, visit dogwoodhealthtrust.org/partner profile. That's dogwoodhealthtrust.org/partner profile.
7:33, we'll get up to Union Mills in just a few moments. From time to time, I have folks ask me, why is my fire department report not on your morning report? Why is my area not mentioned? Well, the reason is that we have not gotten the response from your fire department like we'd like to be. I sent out letters to all the fire departments in the county some time back asking them if they would love to give the report from their community, and did not get any response. Now, some of these fire districts are very cordial and helpful in getting the word out. That doesn't have to be the fire chief. It can be anyone in the fire department or someone with close contact to the fire department where they can have information, know if they had a fire, where it was, if there was a wreck, where it was, and the who, what, when, where type thing of it. So if your fire district is not mentioned on the morning, it's because we've tried and have been unsuccessful. So you talk to them and tell them if you like to hear it, you may be the one to do it. So find out more about it and contact me, and we'll set up a time for you to be on the morning report or afternoon report, and or both. So we want to cover the county as best we can, and we'd love to have all the districts on, and somehow or other, I guess radio is scary to some folks, but no need to be. We're kind and gentle. We're just kind and gentle and smile all the time, don't we, Brenda Kelly?
That's exactly right.
You doing okay today?
I am. I hope you are on this magnificent Monday morning. I remember when I was thinking about doing the report and everything. I think your group was singing up at Camp Creek, and I said, when are you going to get somebody from Union Mills to give the report? And you said, when you volunteer for it. And I thought, well, I don't know about that. And so I talked to Kim Beatty, and she said, oh, there ain't nothing to it.
Yeah, Kim was a good one.
Yeah.
And you've been good at it. You've been doing it a long time, haven't you?
Yeah, I think ever since 98 or 99. So that's quite a while, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
But I don't do a whole lot of the report for the fire department because nobody tells me nothing. So there you are.
Yeah. Well.
But if I know of it, I tell it. But if I don't, I can't tell it. So there you are.
Well, if they're doing good things and they're helping people and going to fires and helping folks and going to wrecks and helping folks, it's a good time to raise that flag of recognition for the community and for the fire districts to let folks know that they're indeed involved in the community. And I think folks appreciate that, to know what's going on, because they hear sirens going all the time, and they wonder what's happening.
And they wonder,
it's best to keep folks informed like that than keep them in the dark.
Yeah, but I never have heard from the fire department much, so. But I do give all the announcements of anything that's going on in the community if they let me know. I do that, so I guess that's a good deed, isn't it?
That is a good deed, yes. You do a good
well,
job.
let's see, I've got do what?
You do a good job at that.
Oh, well, thank you. My daughter volunteered over at the Equestrian Center over the weekend to so she could go see that Miranda Lambert concert, and the person that she was working with was Steve that used to do the report from Rumbling Balls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she said, "Mama, you might know that's who they'd set me with."
Yeah.
She said we got to talking, and he said something about radio, and she said, "Well, my mama's on it every morning except Sunday from WCAB," and he said, "Well, who was she?" And he said, "Oh yeah, I remember hearing her."
I had forgotten he went over there to go to work. Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah. But anyway, I've got 64 degrees on the front porch. I don't have any birthdays or any anniversaries, and in ways of announcement, Possum Creek will be at the Union Mills Learning Center. That'll be, I started to say November. I'm rushing it. September the 3rd. And the music starts at 7 p.m. They have a meal available. It begins at 6 p.m., and the cost of the meal is $5. And so far, that's all I've got going on.
How was the concert? Did your daughter say she enjoyed it?
Oh, she said it was wonderful. She worked all day long, then she had to go rush back home and get ready to go back. She didn't get to see Avery, but because he was on first, and time she went home and changed and come back for the concert, Big and Little, or Big and Rich, or who, I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
They were performing, but she said Miranda Lambert really put on a good show. She sang that song about "This is the house that made me" or something, talking about she wanted to go back in that house, and her dog was buried under the tree in the front yard. And Dee Dee said she cried when she said that because she'd just lost her dog.
Oh, no.
About 2 or 3 weeks before that, and said it was all she could do to keep it together. So I said, I can understand that.
Well, for Avery to have an opportunity to open for a large group like Big and Rich, and then Miranda Lambert, it was a good thing for him.
Yes, and Dee Dee said there was about 5,000 people there.
Wow.
And they did a spot for in remembrance of our boys that lost their lives in Afghanistan or Kabul, wherever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And and then they sang God Bless America, and they asked everybody for a moment of silence. And Dee Dee said, Mama, you could have heard a pin drop in that place with all them people in there.
That's great.
So I thought that was good.
I'm glad they're bringing in talent like that over there.
Oh, yeah, that's good, and they can handle it because they're big enough.
They sure can.
Yeah.
It'd be a great place for a Bill Gaither homecoming event, wouldn't it?
Oh, goodness gracious, yes, and I'd be over there. Yeah.
We'll see if we can work something like that out.
Yeah, but she said that she enjoyed it, and it was a lot of fun. But guess you better go check on Luther Sweet Thing Gilligan and see how Ellenborough's are going.
You have a good Monday.
Catch you later.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Now let's say good morning to Luther Gilligan. He's the man on the street in Ellenboro, keeping us posted. Good morning, Luther.
Good morning. It's a nice morning down here on Monday morning.
It is indeed.
Get to go back to work.
Be a great day to be alive.
Any day is a great day to be alive. As long as I get my boots on the go, we're in business. But it's quiet down here. Well, not quite that quiet. Fire department's out on call now. I think it's a rescue call. But you see, they had 2 medical calls over the weekend. Other than that, they were quiet for the most part of the weekend. Wasn't a whole lot going on. We just had a good, quiet weekend. Nothing else going on down here, Jim. You have a great day up there. We'll see what the fire department is doing. We'll let you know tomorrow.
When you say rescue call, what does that mean, rescue? What are they rescuing? Is it
a medical call.
Oh, okay. All right, got you. All right, Luther, have a wonderful day, and we'll check in with you this afternoon.
All right, take care now.
Bye-bye. All right, that's Luther Gilligan out of Ellenboro reporting, and leaves us time to celebrate birthdays on this 30th day of August. August the 30th. Call your birthday into us now, birthdays and anniversaries, and we'll give you a big shout-out. 287-3356. Todd's standing by to take that birthday call. Call now.
Hey folks, Farmer's Friend Feed Seed Supply is an amazing store. I can say that because they have what you need. From pet supplies to fire and ant killer to horse quality Timothy alfalfa hay, $14 per bale. Attention carp fishermen, they have C&J flavoring, only $8 per bottle. And they have oats for sale. Refill your propane tanks at the lowest price. Fully stocked with all your deer supplies and a great selection of farm implements. Need mulch? $12 per scoop. We could call it a superstore. Farmer's Friend Feed Seed Supply, 188 Whiteside Road in Rutherfordton.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
Jim, have you seen Henson Building Materials' newly remodeled showroom? It's gorgeous!
You mean where they have a full line of hardware and building materials for homeowners and home builders?
I mean where Jamie, Terry, and Tony, their friendly staff, treat me like family. Oh, they're so nice.
Hey, are they taking COVID precautions and have curbside service?
Of course! They're so thoughtful.
I do need some materials, but I don't think they'll fit in our car.
Oh, silly. They have professional delivery so we can get whatever I want.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street in Forest City.
Building starts here.
That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today. While they're fresh, they're good, they're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about. Now, Granny B's closed on Mondays, but be reminded also they have that delicious pizza you can order after today, after they're open tomorrow through the rest of the week. If you enjoy pizza, you'll love Granny B's special pizza over there. Go select one that fits you and your family. Have one for lunch or dinner. They close on Mondays, but back open again on Tuesdays. Granny B's, the delightful place to have a meal. Let me also remind you that folks cleaners over at near the Lifestyle Gym is open every day, but limited hours, so please check with the hours. But they can, if you drop your clothes off today, you can pick them up by Wednesday. They do a fantastic job with laundry and dry clean at Folk Cleaners. They've been doing this a long, long time. Good Christian folks on that business, and you'll enjoy doing business with them as well. They're right there in front of the Lifestyle Wellness Center. So go do business with folks that I do business with. That's Folk Cleaners.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday wishes going out to Carol Sullivan, works at DSS. So Carol, happy birthday. Daniel Campbell also having a birthday. He lives over in Forest City, so we want to wish birthday happiness to these two fine folks, and thank you for letting us share your birthday here on WCAB's Morning Report. Violet Terry's having a birthday, 98 today, lives over in the Sandy Mush area, so happy 98th birthday to Violet. Coming up in just a few moments, Keys to Comfort Living, top of the hour, a little after 5, about 8:05, we'll have that job market report. Find out where some jobs are.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
100.9 FM and 590 AM. Recommended by 3 out of 4 truck drivers. The fourth one? Well, he just stopped off for coffee.
Boy, you got great taste in music.
This is WCAB.
Have you noticed lately how empty everything is? Empty streets, empty stores,
WCAB. Towering over the French Quarter, the spires of St. Louis Cathedral. The majestic church, built when the United States was 18 years old, has survived another storm. I'm Jim Ryan, ABC News in New Orleans. Now with more news, here's Jerry Preston.
Firefighters in Northern California losing ground on the massive Caldor fire over the weekend.
Beautiful cabins heading toward Lake Tahoe are aglow with flames burning to the ground. Ski resorts are being used as command posts as snowmaking machines turned on to put moisture on the landscape. The Caldor fire is a growing beast that is marching toward South Lake Tahoe. Now over 470 homes are gone and 21,000 more buildings are in danger today.
ABC's Alex Stone in California. Tomorrow is the deadline for U.S. troops to be out of Afghanistan. Today, rockets were lobbed at the Kabul airport as evacuation flights continue to take off.
The White House says that over the 24-hour period that ended Monday at 3 a.m. Eastern Time, approximately 1,200 people were evacuated from Kabul on 26 U.S. military flights. That brings the total since August 14th to approximately 116,700 people.
ABC's Karen Travers at the White House. President Biden ordering military commanders to develop plans to strike ISIS assets. You're listening to ABC News.
The pandemic's reminded us we live in a sea of airborne germs that can assault us with every breath. Your nose is the body's first line of defense by helping filter out allergens, bacteria, and viruses before they reach your lungs. But like any air filter, the more clogged up it gets, the less it works. So how do you clean your nose? I'm Martin Hoke, and I didn't invent nasal irrigation. The neti pot's been around thousands of years. But I did invent Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. Navage uses powered suction to flush out mucus and germs that cause congestion, or worse, can make you sick. Over 2 million people use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Navage has over 70,000 online reviews averaging 4.7 stars because it works and it's easy to use. Go to Navage.com or find Navage at Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target. Now available with eucalyptus for a spa-like experience. Navage. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
The European Union set to recommend today that countries there reinstate restrictions on American tourists because of the rising cases of COVID. Another incident involving a Tesla that was driving itself.
A Tesla slammed into a Florida Highway Patrol cruiser Saturday using its partially automated driving system. It happened near downtown Orlando. Officials say the cruiser had its emergency lights on and the Tesla narrowly missed the trooper who stopped to assist a disabled vehicle. A formal investigation was opened by the federal government earlier this month to look into Tesla's autopilot driving system after similar crashes with parked emergency vehicles. Teslas on autopilot or cruise control hitting vehicles despite flashing lights, flares, and illuminated arrow board or cones warning of hazards. Lionel Moise, ABC News Miami.
And another reason to add a handful of nuts to your next meal. Here's ABC's Derek Dennis.
Going nuts, that's what new research suggests could be the key to lowering cholesterol and reducing the risk of heart disease. A study published in the journal Circulation found that older adults eating a handful of walnuts, or about half a cup a day, for 2 years showed a modest decrease in their LDL, or bad cholesterol, which is a predictor of heart disease. Researchers noted the study included mostly healthy participants, but for people who are unhealthy with higher cholesterol levels, the reduction in LDL cholesterol due to walnuts may prove to be much greater. Derek Dennis, ABC News.
This is ABC News.
Vaccines are not enough, and accurate thermometers are essential for everyone. COVID is once again a major concern, and fever is the key symptom for both the flu and COVID. An accurate thermometer, like the Exergen temporal scanner, is essential to detect fevers early and reliably. Studies have shown that non-contact thermometers are ineffective and therefore dangerous, as they create a false sense of security. Exergen is working with a single focus to ensure that everyone who needs an accurate thermometer can purchase one. Learn more at Exergen.com.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC.
It's going to be a hot and humid day for us today. Highs will head into the mid-90s, but again, that humidity making it feel like the triple digits at times. A few passing showers possible for this afternoon, but we'll stay mostly dry, and overnight will fall into the upper 60s and lower 70s. Look for highs in the mid-90s once again tomorrow with small rain chances on tap. Our rain chances will pick up on Wednesday as we are tracking remnant rainfall from Ida to move in. That will also bring the potential for some severe storms. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
We're back up to 68 degrees. Started out there, dropped to 66, now 68, but our daytime high expectations going up to 93 today with winds about 7 miles per hour. Now, she kept talking about the tropical storm out there affecting us. It looks like Tuesday or Wednesday, we may get some of that rain. Big rain shower coming in here on Tuesday night, and possibly Wednesday with some winds. And then it's all out of here by Thursday, hopefully, if it doesn't slow down at all. But it looks like we're going to just sort of escape by the most little bit of it. And it is partly cloudy with rain showers on Tuesday and rain showers again on Wednesday. Right now, again, 68 degrees. There are 1 million people in Louisiana without power this morning. Now we're checking on the job opportunities. Here's Morgan speaking to us this morning. Good morning, Morgan. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Glad to be with us this morning. Thank you. What's on the report today?
We've got a fabric inspector job in Cliffside that requires a high school diploma and no experience. And we've got a novelty yarn winder operator in Cliffside that requires high school diploma and no experience. We've got a supervisor position in Rutherfordton that requires an associate's degree and 1 year of experience. We've got an installer in Ellenboro that requires no education, no experience, and is paying $12 to $18 an hour. We've got a crew leader position in Forest City that requires 1 year of experience. A ground person position in Rutherfordton that requires 1 year of experience. A tree trimmer position in Rutherfordton that requires 1 year of experience. A crew leader position in Rutherfordton that requires 1 year of experience. And then we've got an income maintenance caseworker in Spindale that requires high school diploma and 3 years of experience. We've got an income maintenance caseworker 2 position in Spindale as well, and that requires high school diploma and 3 years of experience. We've got a purchasing assistant in Spindale that requires an associate's degree, and a registered nurse position in Forest City that requires associate's degree, and a customer service representative job in Spindale that requires high school diploma and 1 year of experience. And these are just a few of the jobs available here for Rutherford NC Works Career Center, but we are located at 223 Charlotte Road in Rutherfordton. And for more information on any of the jobs and positions, you can just call us at 828-286-3042. And if you're interested in one of the positions that we listed, you can just reference the job order number when you call, or let us know what job you're interested in. And you can also visit our website at ncworks.gov.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate you being with us, and I hope some folks will get up and go get those jobs.
Yep, me too. Thank you.
See you now. Bye.
Bye.
Always good to have that job market report on Monday. And the money's going to run out here pretty soon, I believe, where the government's paying you to stay home. I think that's going to stop here pretty soon. So it's time to go ahead and make your plans to find a good job for yourself where you can make yourself some good money and some good benefits and get back out in the marketplace again. Keep that economy rolling. 9 minutes after 8 o'clock, the Sheriff's Report with Deputy Butron's coming up here this hour. A lot of other stuff from here and there, all straight ahead.
It's our 30th anniversary, but you get the gifts. That's right, Carolina West Wireless is celebrating our anniversary and celebrating you in a big way with incredible savings, like $350 off a new iPhone 12 or a $150 credit when you bring in your own device. And as our special gift to you, get an additional $30 off any other device promo in our store. Stop by today and let's celebrate our 30th anniversary together. Carolina West Wireless, celebrating 30, celebrating you. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details or visit carolinawest.com/terms and conditions.
Some news from here and there. Forest City reporting Wednesday's search of a Forest City residence yielded more than 3 pounds of methamphetamine, assorted other drugs, and more than $14,000 in cash. The newly established task force, consisting of the Forest City Police Department and the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office Narcotic Unit, along with the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office Criminal Apprehension Team, assisted North Carolina Probation with a search of 125 Lark Lane. Upon completion of the search, authorities seized the methamphetamine, $14,197 in cash, marijuana, pills of all kinds, according to the Forest City Police Department. As a result of the seizures, arrested were Michael Irvin Hughes, 52, and Ricky Thomas Jackson, 37, both of Lark Lane and both old enough to know better. Hughes was charged with trafficking methamphetamine, 2 counts of possession with intent to sell and deliver a controlled substance, 2 counts of maintaining a vehicle or dwelling, possession of marijuana and possession of Schedule 4, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Jackson was charged with trafficking methamphetamine, maintaining a dwelling, and possession of a drug paraphernalia. Hughes was jailed under a $71,500 secured bond, and Jackson received a $30,000 secured bond. Rutherford County is among the highest areas where COVID-19 has tightened its grip, according to data from the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services. In Rutherford, coronavirus cases are surging, with 86 new cases within a day, along with 6 more fatalities, for a cumulative death toll of 235. Figures show there are 8,734 cases in the county, or 179 new cases within the last few days. All students and staff in the Rutherford County schools are required to wear masks at school when inside a school building. Reports you heard last week. Daily Courier is reporting more intensive details on it. That decision was made by the Rutherford County Board of Education in an emergency meeting Thursday evening. The mask requirement is effective today in order to give school officials time to communicate the new mandate to parents. Because of COVID-19, students spend much of the last school year learning remotely, or they were wearing face masks if they were on campus. The students in the summer learning program, also were required to wear face masks. Early in August, the school board decided the school year would begin with face masks being optional. Since that time, the number of cases of COVID-19 has grown dramatically, affecting students and adults. Since school opened for all the Rutherford County schools Monday, the number of students quarantined because of having COVID-19 or being exposed to someone with COVID-19 has also grown rapidly. Board Chairman Philip Morrow, along with Superintendent David Sutton and RCS Chief Operating Officer Brad Teague, laid out the case for the need for mask mandate. Morrow began his remarks 23 days ago on August 3rd. This board met and was full of hope and optimism for a more normal beginning to the school year. Unfortunately, it has not worked out as we had hoped, he said. He reminded the public that there is no remote learning program this year. Our priority is to keep kids in the classroom safely. Sutton then provided a timeline of how COVID-19 has spread among the schools. He pointed out that in the first couple of weeks after school began in July for Forest City Dunbar Elementary School, which operates on a separate year-end calendar, there were very little COVID activity. On August 3rd, we had the first school-based exposure with active cases at the school, he said. By August 6th, we had 3 positive cases and exposure to employees. Since then, the numbers have exploded, Sutton said. By mid-afternoon Thursday, Sutton said there were 40 separate exposure incidents in classrooms. All last year, we had a total of 80 incidents of exposure. In the first 4 days of all our schools being open, we have half the number of last year's total, Sutton said. Vice Chairman Rick Ficklin said these numbers are disturbing. I did raise my hand the last time to make masks optional with the understanding that we would revisit this if needed. Now we don't have a choice. We have to do something now, or in a few weeks we have to completely shut the doors to the schools. Board member Sherry Bright said that elected officials are often called upon to make decisions that are not popular. I believe it is in the best interest to keep kids safe and in schools to require the mask. Both board member Angel King also voiced her support for the mask mandate. Fickler made the motion to require masks in the classroom setting in all Rutherford County schools. Bright seconded the motion. The measure was approved 5-0. 2 board members, Brandy Natty and Brandon Gosi, were not present at the meeting. So they're underway now with the new mask mandates until further notice. And hopefully that will bring it down. The requirement will remain in place as a higher transmission zone on the CDC's COVID-19 community transmission map, Sutton said. With COVID-19 raging in Rutherford County, public health officials continue to urge everyone who can to take a COVID-19 vaccine and consider wearing masks in public. Well, Samaritan's Purse Christmas Child Operation is planning to have an event Thursday, September 23rd at 6 p.m. at Polk County GOP headquarters, Peak Street, Columbus. Vladimir Hensky, I guess it is, give a heartwarming story of receiving an Operations Christmas Chair shoebox. What it meant to him, and he has now turned his life around. Growing up in a family of 9 kids, Vladimir didn't get many gifts, and food was a luxury. One harsh winter in Kiev, Ukraine, Vladimir and his siblings rode a bus and then a train to get to the church where shoeboxes were handed out. The brightly colored gift stood out immediately. He was so excited about that gift that time seemed to stand still for a brief moment. Vladimir's favorite item were candy and toys, but remembers brushing his teeth with floss to enjoy the minty-flavored string and now having a toothbrush of his own. The shoebox represented to Vladimir unconditioned love that heals everything, allowing him and his siblings to forget their struggle for a moment and just feel loved. This event's going to be Thursday, September 23rd, 6 p.m. at the Polk County GOP headquarters. 16 minutes after 8 o'clock, the Sheriff's Report is coming up here in just a few minutes. You know, there is a lot of misleading information about Medicaid eligibility. The Arledge Law Firm would like for you to know the truth. For instance, if you need a nursing home, Medicaid will take your home. That's not true. Another one is, if you transfer assets, you have to wait 60 months to qualify. Again, not true. And this big one, if you're already in a nursing home, it's too late to protect your assets. Not true, not true, not true. Call attorneys Gerald N. Willis, Kent Baldwin, or Martin Gerard at the Arledge Law Firm and get free consultation and learn the truth. It's more likely than you think that you may qualify for nursing home care and not lose everything you own. It's worth a call to Arledge Law Firm at 287-3338, located on East Court Street in Rutherfordton.
You need an insurance agent you can talk to? Call Insurance Service Associates at 828-245-5301. We want to help you get the best out of your insurance dollar. As a trusted choice independent agent, we shop your coverage with several companies to give you the best value. More companies, better choices, best rate. Come see us at our new office at 245 East Main Street in Forest City, or call us at 828-245-5301.
At Smith Drugs of Forest City, we are continue to offer the COVID-19 rapid testing and the COVID-19 vaccinations. Please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591 with any questions or concerns that you may have. You may also visit our website at smithsdrugsfc.com and schedule your COVID rapid 19 test or your vaccination. Again, if you have any questions, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
18 past 8 o'clock, Sheriff's Report in just a few moments. You know, every day there's a different story about the pros and cons of the COVID, the lockdowns, the masks, the vaccination, all those things. We hear pros and cons, and it's just left up to the individual to make their own decision. But a Stanford medical professor has said lockdowns are the single biggest mistake in public health history. Dr. J. Bladiscara said, "What I do know is that if government induces fear in population, if a government formally locks down, that it will take much longer to get to that point where the disease is at a level where we can manage it without having to turn over all of society. If people are scared to interact with everybody else, it will take longer to reach herd immunity, even if you don't have a policy." Stanford University Medical School epidemiologist and public health expert reiterated how his conviction that COVID lockdowns have been horrendous for public health and affirmed that they have killed more people than they have saved. Dr. J. Bladiscara said, "I say the lockdowns were the single biggest mistake in public health history. I still believe that. I don't see how anyone can look at a lockdown and say there was successful policy. We have had lockdowns in country after country after country," he continued. "I don't think by any measure you can call them a success. From the beginning of the pandemic, Bladiscara has advocated for a public health action plan of focused protection, a policy wherein creative measures are enacted by public servants to shield the most vulnerable from infection, and the rest of society is allowed to carry on with regular life." As previously covered by LifeSite News, Bladiscara and numerous other medical professionals formally outlined this idea in the Great Barrington Declaration. In part, it reads, "The most compassionate approach that balances the risks and benefits of reaching herd immunity is to allow those who are at minimal risk of death to live their lives normally, to build up immunity to the virus through natural infection, while better protecting those who are at highest risk. We call this focused protection. Regarding this approach, Bhattacharya said the idea was to give people resources to protect themselves as they saw fit, that they can make trade-offs in their lives based on what they valued. He added, you have to think differently about what the goal is. If the goal is focused protection, then adopt a different set of policies than if the goal is testing, tracing, identifying, and quarantine. Bhattacharya said that many in the medical and public health community have come to think erroneously about herd immunity, which was once identified as the goal for resolving the COVID pandemic. Herd immunity is not a synonym for zero COVID. It does not mean the disease has gone away. What it means is that the disease has become endemic. So there you go. That's one. He is a medical professor and a university medical school epidemiologist, and he is saying lockdowns are not the answer. Lockdowns has been bad for America. What it does, and I said to someone, of course I'm not an authority on anything, I just have my own feelings. It can be Satan-derived because it locks us out of church. People are not able to go to church when it started, which tears down our communication with Christian people. Locks us out of schools, which defies our education and weakens down our educational system. Locks us out of family reunions and family get-togethers, which locks down the family unity. So those three elements is what will destroy America. No church, no school, no family unity. We got to learn to get over this thing, folks. 22 minutes after 8 o'clock. There's so much more to talk about, but we'll do that again tomorrow morning, right here if you will hang around with me. Right now, here's Deputy Butron with the Sheriff's Department report.
So in the past 48 hours, the Sheriff's Office has responded to 220 calls for service. Jails processed 14 arrests, and there's currently 203 detained in the county jail. For arrest reports, Robert Payne Davis was charged with misuse of 911 system. Baxter Boyd Dobbins was served a warrant for assault on a female and injury to personal property. Jamerson Darren Jones was served an order for arrest for a failure to appear on a felony. Jason Dylan Wiggins was charged with a protection order violation. For incident reports, Sarah Wharton reported a breaking and entering and a larceny after breaking and entering. Justin Dean Silvers reported a damage to property. And Dwight Alexander Walker reported a misdemeanor larceny. And that's all we've got for the weekend.
24/7 WCAB is serving the foothills of the Carolinas. Learn more about us at www.wcab59.com.
West leading San Francisco Giants and the second-place Dodgers continue to be separated by 2.5 games after both teams failed to score a run on Sunday. Atlanta made the Giants feel small in a 9-0 pounding, while the Dodgers absorbed a 5-0 loss to the Rockies. Philadelphia won their third in a row, a 7-4 downing of Arizona. That keeps them 4.5 games behind the NL East leading Braves. The Milwaukee Brewers' 3-game skid is over after Rowdy Tellez and Luis Urias homered to power them to a 6-2 win at Minnesota. It extends their lead in the NL Central to 8.5 games over the Reds. The Tampa Bay Rays were able to expand their lead in the AL East to 6 games over the Yankees. Joey Wendell drove in 6 runs with a pair of homers, including a grand slam that broke up on the Rays' 12-straight win over the Orioles 12-8. The Yankees dropped a 3-1 decision to Oakland. The Texas Rangers crushed the Houston Astros 13-2. Adolis Garcia hit the first grand slam by a Texas batter in almost 2 years. His 29th homer came during an 8-run outburst in the 5th. The loss for the Astros trims their lead in the AL West to 5.5 games over the Athletics. Now from the big league to the little one.
Taylor, Michigan is Thompson Little League Baseball. The 11 and 12-year-old kids capped an unforgettable summer with a 5-2 win over Hamilton, Ohio. The Little League title is the first for Michigan since 1959. Thomas Beischer for CBS News, South Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
Patrick Cantlay emerged as the winner after a lengthy playoff that decided the PGA's BMW Championship near Baltimore. Clutched down the stretch for 6 dynamic playoff holes, Cantlay put the fitting end to an epic battle with Bryson DeChambeau by making an 18-foot birdie putt on the 18th. Both finished the regulation holes at 27 under 261. It marks the first time that anyone ever shot a 261 on the PGA Tour and didn't win the tournament. This is NCN Sports.
The COVID pandemic unleashed a resurgence of opioid use in our state. These citizens need access to treatment. Finding a solution to close the health insurance coverage gap can give them a fresh start. Care for Carolina is committed to providing more insurance options and access to health care. Covering the uninsured means better health for all of us.
Go to care4carolina.com to find out more. That's care4carolina.com. Care for Carolina, expanding access, enhancing prosperity.
We really are worried that this Delta variant is going to find everyone who's not protected.
The fact that this is more infectious, causing worse outcomes, and spreading like wildfire in the United States, I don't believe this is a wait-and-see period. It's a time to really roll those sleeves up and get those shots.
There are more people dying this week than there was last week. Our rates of hospitalizations are going up. The people that are losing their lives are the people that are unvaccinated.
Visit myspot.nc.gov today. A message from NCDHHS.
Ravens running back J.K. Dobbins is expected to miss the upcoming season with a torn ACL. He left the Ravens preseason finale at Washington on Saturday night, midway through the first quarter following the injury. The news is a blow for the Ravens, which led the NFL in rushing last season. The University of Louisville is suspending its head basketball coach, Chris Mack. University officials say he failed to properly handle an extortion attempt by his assistant, Dino Gaudio, who was sentenced in federal court Friday to probation and a $10,000 fine. Prosecutors say Gaudio demanded nearly $500,000 when he learned he'd be fired over the team missing the NCAA tournament, and he said he'd tell the news media about violations if he didn't get the cash. Mack will miss the first 6 games of the season, all non-conference. He says he accepts the suspension and, quote, could have handled the matter differently. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
It's going to be a hot and humid day for us today. Highs will head into the mid-90s, but again, that humidity making it feel like the triple digits at times. A few passing showers possible for this afternoon, but we'll stay mostly dry, and overnight will fall into the upper 60s and lower 70s. Look for highs in the mid-90s once again tomorrow with small rain chances on tap. Our rain chances will pick up on Wednesday as we are tracking remnant rainfall from Ida to move in. That will also bring the potential for some severe storms. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
We're sunny skies and 69 degrees on this Monday morning, the 30th day of the month, and getting up to about 93 for a daytime high with winds about 7 miles per hour. Now, we'll keep you updated on Ida, the tropical storm down in Louisiana, as it moves upward into the upper part of the states. We'll keep you posted on that if you'll stay tuned with us with ABC National News. Right now it's 8:30. This is WCAB Rutherfordton, serving the foothills of the Carolinas. It's time now for the Word of Faith Fellowship radio program. And with the program this morning is Mark Morris and Bill Creason.
Hi, everyone, and thank you again for listening. This is Mark with Word of Faith Fellowship, and I'm here with my good friend Bill. Today, Bill's going to share with you a very important message I believe it's going to change your life. He has shared some with me, and it is changing my life. So I know it will yours too. We're going to share about your heart, what you are treasuring every single day, and we're going to go through some examples in scriptures. And as we go through these, open your heart, because God is going to speak to you. He's going to speak to me. He's going to speak to Bill, and we are going to be blessed today. So, Bill, go ahead and get us started.
Thank you, Mark. Good morning, Rutherford County. Again, it's good to be back here. As Mark said, I want to talk about treasure. And I want to take a look in the scriptures, and let's take a look and see what Jesus had to say about treasure and what Jesus said you should be storing up and how to store it up. Because I believe if you can learn from some of these examples as I have, reading in the scriptures, you'll make it with God. So let's take a look at Matthew chapter 6, verses 19 to 24. Jesus makes this statement in verse 19. He says, Do not store up for yourselves material treasures on earth. Okay, so what can material treasures be? It can be a number of things. It could be your job. It could be your wife. It could be your husband. It could be your pet. It could be riches, money, all sorts of things. But Jesus emphatically says here, do not store up for yourselves material treasures on earth. What does he say? Where moth and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal. So obviously those things are not lasting. The only thing that is lasting is having a relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ himself and having eternal life. That is lasting. You cannot put a price tag on that. There's no amount of money that can buy that. There's no amount of money that will satisfy you other than having a relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ. Let's continue on. So this is what he says. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. And this is what Jesus said about treasure. He wants you to store up for yourselves treasures in heaven. Okay? For where your treasure is, there your heart, and what does this include? Your wishes, your desires, that on which your life centers will also be. So that's what I want to challenge you with today. I want you to take inventory of your heart. Take a good look on the inside of yourself and see, what do I really treasure? What am I storing up? What do I do every day? Does it mean something to have God speak to me? Does it mean something for me to have an opportunity to praise and worship and give God my very all? Does that have meaning? It does to me. And I want to take a look at some of these men, some of the men that walked very closely with Jesus, 8 of them. He had 12 men that he personally chose. There was 8 of them that give some specific details about how they met Jesus, the condition of their heart, how they walked with him. And I'd like to take a look at these things and just see, we can learn from their example. Let's see what they did to make it.
Yes.
Okay? So the first disciples that were called were Peter and Andrew. Okay, so in John chapter 1, it says, again the next day, John was standing with 2 of his disciples, and that's John the Baptist. Well, it just so happens that Andrew, the scripture seems to indicate that Andrew was a disciple of John the Baptist for part of the time. Okay, so John was standing with 2 of his disciples, and he looked at Jesus as he walked along and said, look, the Lamb of God. The 2 disciples heard him say this, and they followed Jesus. Now, isn't that interesting? There was something in their heart that wanted to follow Jesus. Do you have the same longing in your heart today, that you want to follow Jesus? You want to lay everything aside, give it up, and let everything in your heart follow Jesus with everything that's in you. This is what I believe what Jesus was talking about when he said, store up treasures in heaven. Eternal life is a precious treasure. And the only way that you can get it is by having a relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ and allowing himself to be first place in your life. That's right. Then you'll be able to store up treasure in heaven. So they began to follow Jesus, and Jesus said to them, what do you want? They answered him, Rabbi, where are you staying? He said to them, come and you will see. So they went with him and saw where he was staying, and they stayed with him for that day. Okay, so this is Andrew. He's with another man. He was disciple of John the Baptist, so he's staying with Jesus that day. And obviously, they communicated, they had an exchange, Jesus talked to them, and some things came out of that. Well, what was the fruit of all this? So Andrew, he's obviously excited about it. So he goes and he gets his brother. Who's his brother? Simon Peter. Yes. He goes and gets Simon Peter. And he brought Simon Peter to Jesus. Andrew had told Simon Peter that they found the Messiah. Obviously, there was something in their hearts that were looking for Jesus. They had to have some kind of a knowledge of the scriptures and what the prophets were saying about a Messiah coming for Andrew to even be able to say that. And Peter went right along with him. Andrew brought Simon Peter to Jesus. Jesus looks at him and says, "You are Simon, the son of John. You shall be called Cephas," which is translated Peter. Jesus always goes right to the heart of the matter, doesn't he? Right to the heart of the matter. Yes. They didn't exchange pleasantries. Simon Peter walks up and Jesus says, "You're going to be Peter. I'm changing your name." And there was a purpose for that. Because obviously Peter means rock, and Peter did become a leading apostle in Jesus' company. That was part of the call of God on his life.
Right.
Okay, so here's another account. As Jesus was walking by the Sea of Galilee, he noticed two brothers. Now here's Jesus is noticing two brothers. Is he noticing you today? I trust and believe and want that he's noticing me. He notices us.
Yes.
Okay? He noticed two brothers, Simon, who was called Peter, and Andrew, his brother, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishermen. And he said to them, "Follow me as my disciples, accepting me as your master and teacher, and walk the same path of life that I walk. And I will make you fishers of men." And what was their response to that? This is what they did. It says immediately. They did not offer any excuses. They didn't say, "Let me go take care of this first," as some other people did that came to Jesus. It said they immediately left their nets. They left their occupation. Certainly that occupation was a treasure to them. I'm sure that they had a regard for the occupation that they were doing. They were fishermen. That meant something to them. But it says immediately they left their nets and followed him. And what happened? Becoming his disciples. That means they were believing, they were trusting in him, and they followed his example. And as you track their lives throughout Scripture, and they make it to the upper room, and Jesus shows up on the day of Pentecost, and he breathes on them, and the Spirit of God and fills them. They made it with God. But look, this is where it started. Look at their heart. They immediately left their nets. They immediately left everything, and they went and followed Jesus with everything in them.
You know, Bill, as you're sharing this, I'm thinking about our hearts every day. This is a lesson to me because these men were transformed. I mean, they went from casting nets in the water and catching fish to meeting the Son of God, and he comes to them, and like you said, he's watching them. And I liked how you said that because he's watching us. He's watching us through the day, and he knows our hearts. And there was something in their hearts. And you mentioned Andrew at first. Simon's brother, Andrew, was actually the first one, and he gets so excited, he goes to his brother and pulls him in. But I'm thinking about the condition of our hearts every day, and this is very important. And as I'm reading this, I'm looking at my heart. What is it? Because Jesus is coming to us every day, Bill. And this is as I'm saying this. This was a one-time event. This was the initial event. Yes. He comes to them. They're doing their things, but there's something in their heart, like you said, where they have a treasure in heaven. And because of that, the Son of God comes, and they recognize him. And when he comes, because their heart was seeking the treasure in heaven, they were able to give up those natural things, like the job, like you're talking about. And it was very easy for them to just give it up because they recognized their treasure was in heaven. And I'm thinking about our lives, Bill, how during the day, God has so much for us. I'm just thinking like every day he has like this great day for us. Yes. And so if our treasures are somewhere caught up with the money or what we're doing, our jobs during the day, we will miss when Jesus comes to us and he has this wonderful day for us, filled with his miracles, filled with walking with him. And so, I see already how God wants to deal with our hearts every day in this.
Every day. That's exactly right. So there's another account in Luke here, and it covers Peter coming to Jesus again. So now it happened that while Jesus was standing by the lake of Gennesaret, or the Sea of Galilee, with people crowding all around him, all kinds of people crowding all around him. So Jesus has to find a way to teach these people so they can all hear him. So what does he do? He sees two boats, and they belong to Simon Peter. They were fishermen. So he gets into one of the boats, and Peter takes him out there. He gets into one of the boats, and he teaches the crowd from the boat. Okay? So the water would magnify, it would carry his voice. He could reach the people, and they could all see him. There was no restrictions, sight restrictions whatsoever. He was right in plain view of that whole crowd of people. Right. And Peter's out there with him. He's in the boat. So it says, when he had finished speaking, he says to Simon Peter, "Put out into the deep water and lower your nets for a catch of fish." And here's Simon Peter's response. He says, "Master, we worked hard all night to the point of exhaustion." They were up all night fishing, struggling, trying to catch all these fish, and they caught nothing. And caught nothing in our nets. But look at Peter's heart here. Look at his heart. He says, "But at your word." But at your word. I'm telling you, yes. When Jesus speaks something to you, you better do it.
Right.
Because he's got a purpose and something good is going to come out of it.
That's really good.
Something good is going to come out of it.
Yes.
So, he says, "Nevertheless, but at your word, I will do as you say and lower the nets again." When they had done this, they caught a great number of fish, and their nets were at the point of breaking. So they signaled their partners and the other boats to come and help them. And that would have been James and John and Zebedee. They were partners with Simon Peter. He signals them. So these two boats are totally full of fish to the point of sinking. And this just pierced Peter's heart. He says to me, "Depart from me, Lord, for I am a sinful man." And look what Jesus' response is. He says, "Have no fear. From now on, you will be catching fishers. You will be catching men. I'm going to make you a fisher of men."
Yes.
They'd left everything. His occupation totally changed. He wasn't a fisherman anymore. God was making him a fisher of men. But again, he had that divine yes in his heart.
That's right.
Yes and amen. I will do that for you, Jesus.
That's right.
He had his heart was right.
Well, and it goes back to our everyday life, Bill, because every day God's speaking to us. It's this account on they're on the boat, they're struggling, haven't caught any fish. And all of a sudden, Jesus tells us something during the day. Maybe we've struggled during the day. Maybe all kinds of things are happening to us during the day. And God speaks to us. And again, it goes back to if we will listen to him during the day, our day and our life will be transformed. Our heart will be transformed. So, very powerful.
Okay, now let's take a look at James and John. These are very close men to Jesus also. So again, and going on further from there, he noticed two other brothers, James, the son of Zebedee, and his brother John, in the boat with their father Zebedee. So here they're fishing with their father. Obviously, he was engaged in their business with them. They obviously loved him,
right?
Or he wouldn't have been in there. I mean, they had a good relationship.
Sure.
With their father Zebedee mending their nets, and he called to them to follow him as his disciples. Jesus called to them. Jesus called to them. Yes. I remember the day Jesus called to me, and I answered the call, and I've never regretted one day of it. And immediately, here it is again. That term immediately comes up frequently. Immediately, they left the boat and their father. Obviously, he meant something to them, or that wouldn't have been pointed out there. Right. They left the boat and their father and followed him, becoming his disciples, believing, trusting in him, and following his example. And we know those men did that.
Yes.
Throughout the course of time there.
Right.
Now, the call of Matthew. Okay. Matthew was a tax collector. They made their living by overtaxing people. That's how they made their money. And they were somewhat outcasts. They were despised by the people because they represented Roman authority. They didn't like tax collectors too much. They were not very popular people.
Right, and he was Jewish, and so they felt some sense of betrayal.
That's right.
With these tax collectors because they're taking money from their brethren.
So after this, Jesus went out and noticed a tax collector named Matthew sitting at the tax booth. And he said to him, again, here's Jesus noticing something. Why did Jesus notice this man? Something in his heart had to be right. Something in his heart. There had to be something, again, in his heart that wanted to know something about God.
Yeah.
Jesus noticed him, and he said to him, follow me. Those words must have gripped these men's hearts.
Yes.
When he spoke and said, follow me, because they all responded.
Yes.
They all responded. He said, follow me as my disciple, accepting me as your master and teacher and walking the same path of life that I walk. And this is what it says about Matthew. It says he left everything behind. All his earthly treasures were left behind. His tax collecting job was left behind. And Matthew had money because, as you see here, he throws a banquet and invites Jesus. He throws a supper for Jesus and he has all these people come. Very large house, very large crowd. It's obvious the man had to have some money.
Right.
He was wealthy, but he left it behind. He gave a great banquet for him at his house, and there was a large crowd of tax collectors. Okay, tax collectors.
Right.
And I said there's another account that says especially wicked sinners were there. These are the kind of people that came to Jesus. It wasn't the people that didn't need a physician. It was the people that were destitute, desperate.
Yes.
These are the kind of people that came to Jesus.
Yes.
And these are the kind of people we helped. And the Pharisees began attacking all this. And so they had the meal there. And Jesus says to these religious people, it is not those who are healthy who need a physician, but only those who are sick. I did not come to call the self-proclaimed righteous who see no need to repent, but sinners to repentance. And what is repentance? To change their old way of thinking, to turn from sin and seek God and his righteousness.
Yes.
And that's what these men did.
Absolutely. Bill, you know, you shared about Jesus' words to, so far what I've heard from all these disciples is he says, follow me. And you talked about those words must have gripped them. Follow me. And he spoke to their hearts. And I want to just encourage everybody today because God is telling you that. God is telling me that. And he's saying this to you listening today. Follow me. That's something that God is saying to you every single day. You may have committed your life to him at some point, or you may even go to church. But God is telling you today, follow him today. Every single day, he wants your heart. How these men responded on this initial response of follow me is how we need to be responding to him every single day, every single moment. Remember, when you wake up in the morning, Jesus is saying to you every day, follow me, and he wants your heart.
Amen. Okay, so the next day comes along, and Jesus is going into Galilee, and he finds two more men. This is a very interesting exchange. And it was very interesting what Jesus had to say about this one man. And he found Philip, and he said to him, follow me as my disciple, accepting me as your master and teacher, and walking the same path of life that I walk. Now Philip was from Bethsaida, the city of Andrew and Peter. Philip's excited about this because he goes and he gets Nathanael. He seeks out Nathanael and goes and gets him and brings him to Jesus. He's excited.
This is a pattern we're seeing.
This is
here.
a pattern.
When Jesus comes to you, you are excited.
You are
and
excited.
You bring in others.
So he finds Nathanael. Philip found Nathanael, and he told him. Again, obviously this man had to have some knowledge of the scriptures. He says, we have found the one Moses in the law and also the prophets wrote about, Jesus from Nazareth, the son of Joseph, according to public record. Now here's Nathanael's response to this. Can any good thing come out of Nazareth? Philip replied, come and see. Come and see.
Yes.
And they did that.
Yes.
So Philip goes and sees. Jesus saw Nathanael coming toward him, and this is what Jesus says to him. This to me is an amazing testimony. Jesus says to him, "Here is an Israelite indeed, a true descendant of Jacob, in whom there is no guile, nor deceit, nor duplicity." What an amazing testimony.
Yes.
This man had a pure heart, and Jesus saw that.
Yes.
I still find it amazing that when everybody comes to Jesus, he goes right to the heart of the matter, doesn't he?
Yes.
Right to the heart of the matter.
Right.
Nathanael said to Jesus, "How do you know these things about me?" Jesus answered, "Before Philip called you, when you were still under the fig tree, I saw you." Nathanael answered, "You are the Son of God." How did he know that? How did he know that? How could he say that? Revelation. He knew in his heart Jesus was the Son of God. And I believe all these men did.
Yes.
I believe they all did.
Right.
Because of the way they responded. Yes. And it anchored them and kept them. And they were there in the upper room on the day of Pentecost when they got born again.
Right.
The most amazing thing.
Right.
These men made it.
That's very good. And Bill, in this day we live in, there's a war against the truth. There's a war against who Jesus is. There's a war against people's hearts giving to Jesus. And so it is so important for us to have a heart like this, like Nathanael had, a heart that is pure, a heart that wants to know Jesus Christ. Because there are a lot of people, Bill, in this time period who Jesus walked among and they rejected him. And so there's obviously a difference in the hearts of people during this time, because some of them they didn't recognize Jesus as the Son of God. They actually called him that he was of the devil.
Yes.
And so there's obviously a huge contrast in what people saw Jesus as. And your point is, it goes back to people's hearts, where they were every single day, where your treasure is. Are you seeking the things of God? And if you are, you're going to recognize Jesus when he comes to you.
Exactly right. Now, let's look at Judas Iscariot. We all know who Judas Iscariot was. He's pretty much branded throughout history as a traitor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But he became that. He wasn't that initially when he met God. He became that. If you track his life through the scriptures, you'll see how the devil got in there and what started taking over his heart to make him betray Jesus. He became a traitor. He wasn't that initially. He was called by God just like the other 11 apostles were.
Right.
He was given authority to cast out devils. He was given authority to heal every manner of sickness, every manner of disease. Jesus gave those 12 men power and authority to do the work of God on the face of the earth.
And he was one of those.
And he was one of those.
Yeah.
He was in the boat the day the storm raged, and Jesus got up and he rebuked the storm, and it says there was a perfect calm. And this pierced the hearts of these men, because they say, what manner of man is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him? Right. Again, strengthening that place, this is the Son of God.
Yes.
Okay, let's take a look and see what happened to Judas Iscariot here. Okay, now an account of Mark. Okay, so there was a woman that came into a place where Jesus was. It says, while he was in Bethany as a guest at the home of Simon the leper, and reclining at the table, a woman came in with an alabaster vial of very costly and precious perfume of pure nard. Okay, so obviously this was a very expensive perfume. She broke the vial and poured the perfume over his head, but there were some who were indignantly remarking to one another, why has this perfume been wasted? Okay, judging it totally out of carnal means. That perfume wasn't wasted. Jesus said this woman was doing a great thing for him because she was anointing his body for burial. Mm-hmm. That wasn't being wasted.
Right.
So this is what he said. For this perfume might have been sold for more than 300 denarii, a labor's wages for almost a year, and the money given to the poor. And they scolded her. But Jesus said, leave her alone. Mm-hmm. She's doing a good thing for me. And he begins to expound upon it. So he said, the poor you always have, but me you don't always have. I won't always be with you. And so from that point in time, Judas Iscariot, who was one of the 12 disciples, went to the chief priests to betray Jesus to them. And when they heard this, they were delighted and promised to give him money, and he began looking for an opportune time to betray him. This moment in time is where this thing first started festering in him and opened up the door for the devil to take him over and betray Jesus.
Right.
Obviously, his treasure was money. He was the treasurer. And they said he was a thief, and he used to pilfer the treasure bag.
Right.
Next account. 6 days before the Passover, Jesus went to Bethany where Lazarus was, whom he had raised from the dead. So again, they gave him a supper for him there. Martha was serving, and Lazarus one of those reclining at the table. Then Mary took a pound of very expensive perfume of pure nard. Again, it's this very expensive perfume, is pure nard, and she poured it on Jesus' feet, wiped his feet with her hair, and the house was filled with the fragrance of the perfume. But look at Judas Iscariot's heart here. Judas Iscariot, one of the disciples, the one who's going to betray him, said, "Why was this perfume not sold for 300 denarii and the money given to the poor?" Now he said this not because he cared for the poor. Judas didn't care one bit for the poor. He was a thief. He pilfered money from the treasury box. He was the treasurer for the 12.
Right.
His treasure was money. He didn't value his relationship with Jesus, obviously, and it choked all that out. He lost the calling on his life.
Right, and the contrast here is these women who did these acts and their treasure. They had something of value.
Yes.
We don't know if they had a lot of money or little money, but they took something that was worth a lot of money, and they just put it all on his feet, and they anointed him, washed his feet with it, and it goes back to their hearts, Bill. Their treasure was in heaven. Their treasure was Jesus.
Exactly.
They loved him, and they wanted to give this to him to show their heart.
So Jesus, he was serving his treasure for the 12 disciples, and he used to pilfer what was put into it. So Jesus said, "Let her alone, so that she may keep the rest of it for my burial. You will always have the poor with you, but you don't always have me." Now, it progresses on even farther. So here we come to the place of where Judas is going to do it. So then they're at the Last Supper. So then, leaning back against Jesus' chest, John asked him privately, "Lord, who is it?" Because Jesus said one of them was going to betray him.
Yes.
And they were all looking around. Who, me? Is it me? Is it me?
Right.
Is it me? And Jesus said this. Then leaning back against Jesus' chest, John asked him privately, "Lord, who is it?" Jesus answered, "It is the one to whom I am going to give this piece of bread after I have dipped it." So when he had dipped the piece of bread into the dish, he gave it to Judas, son of Simon Iscariot. After Judas had taken the piece of bread, Satan entered into him. Satan took him over. All those things took him over. This is the culmination of the fruit of having material treasures and not having a treasure, not treasuring your relationship with Jesus.
Absolutely.
Then Jesus said to him, what you are going to do quickly without delay. So Judas went out that night and betrayed Jesus.
And Bill, we're running out of time, but wrapping this up, and I think this is so important and a very important message. Tell the listeners, I mean, we've heard such a contrast here. Just in Jesus' initial ministry here, the condition of hearts. If you can just summarize for the listeners how we can take this, what we can learn from this in our lives, and that they can grab hold of in their hearts.
I guess it's always the opportunity. We always have an opportunity to come to Jesus. And it doesn't matter what your situation is, what your problem is, what you're facing. Jesus has the answer. Yes. And it comes from having a relationship with him. He wants us to make it. He wants us to do good. He wants us to turn our heart to him. But it's sin that separates us. We have to have a pure heart. We have got to have a pure heart to walk with Jesus on a daily basis.
Very good.
And it's these little foxes that spoil the vine.
Absolutely. And the little foxes could be every day something that tries to take our heart from where the treasure is. So what a great message, Bill. Powerful message. And want to encourage everybody today, let's make Jesus Christ our treasure. And let's seek him with all our heart today. So thank you for listening. We're on this radio program Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 8:30 to 9. We hope that you have a great day.
The music's on us on WCAB.
A tropical storm Ida is now heading north across and up through Mississippi. FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell says some hospital patients may have to be moved.
This is significant. There is major damage. We've got a lot of resources in place to support the state, and they'll be going out as soon as it's safe to do so.
ABC's Jim Ryan is in New Orleans. He says there are more than 1 million power outages, but the